everybody!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Two Geek Girls on Sunday. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining myself and Lyssa. We hope you're having a wonderful week, a wonderful end to your week, ready for the new one. I was just asking Lyssa how she was doing. She's getting some upgrades. She's getting ready to dive even deeper down the social media rabbit hole with all the shiny toys.
Yes, all the shiny toys.
So you guys be prepared. You guys got to already be following her on Twitch.
Yep, same name, Geek Girl Lyssa. That is my everything handle. So if you ever want to check anything out, hi, hello, Kira. Do you wish to say hello to stream?
Check out my tail. Here's my tail. Hello. Oh, calico cats are so pretty. They're so pretty.
Yeah, this is my tabby. My calico is... Where is she? Oh, she's in the corner over here.
Yes, I think I'm going to have to follow in Lyssa's suit. I'm going to eventually, redo the whole social media thing and the direction of... And I don't know. I'm not even sure. I use Facebook for what I use it for. I don't know what you guys are on more often. I'm assuming Facebook, because a lot of us here are, old fogies. And once kids made the mistake of showing their parents how to use Facebook so they could connect with their graduating class of 1968 mom, then it was all over for us. And that's when everybody moved over to Instagram, which I don't use nearly as much as everyone else says. Aren't you on Instagram? You on Instagram? I said, what's wrong with getting a phone number? Really? Okay.
I'm primarily on TikTok most of the time.
Yes, Michael, I should do that. I still have Heart of Crysstal. I think I'm going to use that for everything. I've already named everything that. We'll see. We'll see. I think more of it has to do with deciding what each thing is going to be and just leave it in one direction. Kind of like cleaning up your YouTube channel. Yep. Once you find the niche you want to stick with. You get to get rid of the old videos because they don't really work anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's branding.
It's branding.
Branding 101.
It's branding. And we're coming up on a couple of big announcements. So I have to actually think about branding just to make it clean. Just to make it clean. It's not that I'm expecting to, oh my God, literally having an entire class ask questions about so how do I become an influencer? I'm go back to 1998 and be there. What year was the birth of MySpace? Okay, I know when it left off. It really hit the ground running in the mid-aughts, but it was around a little bit before then.
Let's see. We can find out. Because
I mean, basically, they're wondering how do these people that own they're the originals on it. I said
2003.
Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. So it's early aughts. So go back to 2003. Be one of the first people to figure out MySpace, get popular on it, and then when MySpace died, be one of the first people on YouTube. And that's how you become one of these. But if you're talking about I don't know, we've said before, I'm just about creating good content like anybody else that wants to, I mean, if you think about it, you're just doing what people do on television on YouTube. Yeah. You're just creating good content, but it's more personable. And the people that I watch who are definitely going to have forever, this is now something that they can keep doing and they don't have to do controversies to do anything. They don't have to, popped up overnight. I think somebody went from a couple thousand followers to 4.6 million followers over COVID because she found her niche. It's that good content. Just do good content.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, within the past week, I had just hit 2,000 followers on TikTok.
Okay.
And my thank you for 2,000 video popped off, and overnight I got 200 more followers.
See? And the more you get, faster it goes.
Excuse me.
And that's just by being yourself. This is like just
Exactly.
you doing your content. It's consistent. It's still work, and that's the one thing it's a lot of work. And this is why I get mad at, people are like, oh, influencers. And I'm like, well, then why don't you do it? Oh, that's right. You can't. So on one hand, anyway. So lots of good YouTube content
you're
out there.
You're a trash tier human being and just a troll, and so you can't do it.
Trolls. Oh, go back onto your bridge.
Yeah, basically.
Basically.
Hello.
So, let's see, nostalgia, going back to the beginning of MySpace. There was I like all these funky stories. So we'll get to the big ones in a minute, but I like all the funky little, oh my God, stories. So I don't know if you heard this one. There's a woman who found out she had a felony charge because she had a VHS tape of Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, like Melissa Joan Hart, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, that she didn't even remember renting, but it had been 20 years and she never returned it. So
she had a felony for that.
She had a felony. So here's what happened. Okay, so she just found this out. She was trying to go through the process of changing her name. She's probably getting married or divorced, one of those situations. And when they did all of the search on the name and her social security number and everything else, they're like, by the way, you have a felony warrant for your arrest in this state. She's like, what? It says it's for embezzlement. It's for felony embezzlement.
For a VHS tape.
True story. So the rental place actually went out of business in 2008. I'm shocked. And but had never done anything about the warrant. The warrant was still issued. It's in another state. She had moved out. I think it's issued in Oklahoma for her. And it's a felony embezzlement charge. Now, she had no idea. And bear in mind, if you go to get a job and they do a background check on you, they don't have to tell you what they found.
Yeah.
They're not going to tell you what they find. So she's suddenly realizing she had to like move to another state, and she's changing her name, and she had to start a new career field, and she had to do all these things because she kept not getting jobs.
Yeah.
That she was applying for, but nobody told her why. And she's like, it never occurred. So yes, she had a felony embezzlement charge from a company that closed down in 2008 from a Sabrina the Teenage Witch VHS rental that she didn't even know she'd rented. And what probably happened if at the time it was rented, she was dating a guy who had a couple of kids.
Oh.
And she thinks he just used her card to rent it. And that's why she never even thought about it. So yeah, I mean, since then, the judge has said, yeah, no, you're dropped. Don't worry about it. We're going to drop it. It's going to be expunged, the whole bit. But can you imagine? Filing felony embezzlement? I know people who have videos and DVDs they never returned.
I have a book from my high school library I never returned. But to be fair, I hadn't found it for the longest time, and I ended up finding it in my German class, but I'd already paid to replace the book. So I just kept the book because I was like, I already paid for the book. It's my book now, technically. I paid for them to be able to replace this thing.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and that becomes the funny part about you try to if you find a book that's that many years old and the library is still open, is the late fee like so much more than the book? I think they give you the option of buying it at that point. I think they actually do have a protocol for that usually, but it's a little tricky when there's only one Blockbuster left in the world. So yeah,
exactly.
It's a little tricky. So I found that story fascinating. I was like, oh my God.
That is the weirdest shit. But I mean, now she at least has a little bit of closure on some of the things that happened in her life.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. However, I can't even imagine, like, nobody thought to tell her.
Yeah, it's like, hey, how many years did she kept not getting fucking jobs that no one thought to say, hey, by the way, you've got a felony warrant out for your arrest. You should probably deal with this.
You have felony embezzlement warrant out for your arrest, which imagine trying to get a job somewhere and you have a felony embezzlement charge. And so nobody said anything to her, which who knows how many details they're actually getting in the background check as opposed to a program just telling them red flag, don't hire.
Yeah.
And then, but what really occurs to me is this is how hands off a lot of stuff in the judicial system is, that nobody thought at any point, maybe we should inform the woman that she has a felony embezzlement charge for a VHS tape.
Yeah.
That's a little weird.
Just a little.
It's a little weird. And then I can't imagine being the officer who could have pulled her over in 2007 and like run, like apparently this woman has never gotten a speeding ticket either. Like props to her.
I mean, yeah.
At least not in Oklahoma. So yeah, they were saying it was Cleveland, Oklahoma. Why is there a Cleveland in Oklahoma? Why did they do that to me? Why
There's
is there
a Cleveland everywhere. There's a Fayetteville everywhere. There's
a Kansas City everywhere. Why? I hate geography. I hate it. And I've gone down.
It's just like throughout Georgia, there's 1,000 freaking Peachtree streets.
Well, yes. And Piedmont's everywhere too, right? Or is that one long road that I'm just constantly crossing? I haven't figured this out yet. As somebody who I feel like I owe my father an enormous apology, who spent so much time making sure I knew how to read a map, I literally could have the GPS in front of me and still miss the turn. Like, this is not good. It's not good. But yes, those are everywhere.
Might have been the crime of the century in Cleveland, Oklahoma. I mean, if that was the case, why wasn't it in the newspaper? Why didn't she know about it?
It was in the local Cleveland paper.
The very, very tiny niche.
Manhunt launched for 16 miles to find the woman responsible. I don't know how big Cleveland, Oklahoma is. I'm not meaning to make fun of it. I swear to God. I don't know how big it is. It sounds like a small town.
It does sound like a small town.
If it still had a rental place up until 2008, they were doing pretty good.
Yeah.
They're doing pretty good. VHS rental. Well, the VHS is probably gone by then. I take that back.
Well, but here's the thing. Like, especially in small towns, rental places do well because it takes forever for upgrades to internet to occur.
Yeah. It's this in small town. Rental still works. We still have video rental here.
Yep.
There's still a place that has video rental because some people just refuse. They're not interested in newfangled anything. They still have VHS players. And I mean, that's okay. Keeping it alive. But I found that story fascinating.
When Josh and I were on our way to a wedding out in Alabama 2 years ago, it was like a video rental and smoke shop.
Yes.
I was like, I mean, what a combination. It makes sense. You get the munchies, and while you're watching a movie, and they've got some snacks there that you can pick up.
It's different. It's different when half your population refuses to change anything. I mean, half the town up here in Monroe is still driving around trucks from 1980 something.
Yeah.
Because they still work.
Yeah, half an hour till the Academy Awards.
Yes, people are excited. What do you think the hashtag of this Academy Award is going to be?
What the fuck?
What is happening in the world right now?
I think that's legit gonna be, because I mean, what was it, the horror movie that won all over the place last year, the Korean one, Parasite.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one expected that one.
No. I love watching. If you have interest in it at all, there is a YouTube channel that I love to watch called Be Kind Rewind, speaking of video rental. It's called Be Kind Rewind, and it's done by a woman who studies film and especially actresses in film and the history of it. And she has these excellent like videos breaking down why people won what year and how. Like if you really want to look into, okay, so why Julie Andrews that year? Why why Barbara Streisand that year? What was the, she talked about Mank. She had a lot of things to say about Mank, which that really the only thing I could say about that movie this year, which is the it's like what is this? This is like a it feels a bit meta of Citizen Kane, it's so that, right? And everybody involved in that wasn't Citizen Kane, but it was Citizen Kane. But anyway, I'm gonna forget the real names in a minute. Anyway, so Mank, but Amanda Seyfried, I would recommend watching it to see her performance.
Okay.
I'm not so sure about her accent, but her performance was great. But anyway, the movies this year are weird. I don't know if any of you out there have any favorites. If you got to see any films this year, we only got to see a couple.
Yeah.
Like this is different. And let's see what we got. Yeah, so we got red carpet. Red carpet looks amazing. I was a huge Promising Young Woman fan. Huge. This is probably it's a lot. So to put it out there, for Best Actor, we have Riz Ahmed, Chadwick Boseman. We have Anthony Hopkins, Gary Oldman, and Stephen Yeun, because Minari is a big one this year.
Yeah, I think they're probably just going to give it to Chadwick. Honestly, first off, I mean, the Academy Awards are always political. Whether they say it is or not, it's always political.
It is.
And since he passed away, it would be a good one to honor him, as well as shed light on all of the Black Lives Matter things that have occurred within the past year.
Yeah, it's certainly going to, well, I mean, because they don't want the hashtag Oscars so white again.
Yeah.
For good reason. And now we only have 8 nominees for Best Picture this year. And again, Mank, I don't think was that good of a film. This is a tricky one. And no, Chadwick Boseman's movie is not nominated. Again, I'm a big Carey Mulligan fan. Carey Mulligan, I don't think has won yet.
Yeah, I don't believe so.
So that would be interesting, because if you haven't seen that movie, it's a movie. It's not easy to watch, but it is one that uses your expectations, especially of female revenge films, against you. Okay. And I love anything that's surprising. It's a very smart film, and the other big point of it is that everybody was against casting. They cast everyone that we love. They cast people that play the best friend. They cast people that are, funny, the nice guy, the comedy. That's who they cast in these not great roles. I mean, great roles, but not great characters. You know what I mean? So, that's what we've going on. And then we have, so Chloe Zhao, we have 2 female director nominees of the 5, and that's including Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman.
Okay.
And then the woman who did Nomadland, and she was Spike Lee's student. She learned under Spike Lee. That's the actress. I'm talking about the director. Was also a woman. So I don't know. I haven't gotten a chance to see Nomadland yet.
I haven't either.
There's a lot. I don't know if any of you out there have, no interest. Mostly white men think about best movies, and that is the truth for most of the voters. But they're doing better
Yeah,
And
they've been slowly but surely trying to diversify, but at the same time, again, it's all political.
yeah,
So.
yeah, and
They try to say it's not.
no, but it's interesting to hear the backstories of some of what's clearly happening during voting time,
Mm-hmm.
because that also goes a lot for what is being like in the news and what is happening. Because when it's your turn to vote and it's just you,
Yeah.
you're also thinking about like who you think might win, but whose performance you really liked better. And so there's been a lot of upsets too. And don't forget, and we've had ties and we've had upsets and we've had things. And it turned out a lot of people were like, oh, I thought everyone else was going to vote for her. Or I thought everyone else was going to vote for him. And yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, original song. Okay, this is funny. I don't know if you ever saw Eurovision.
No, but I'm
It went to
familiar with
Netflix.
it.
Yeah, it went to Netflix. So the song is up for, God, I didn't even realize. I knew. Well, yeah, I guess Netflix movies count anyway. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Why am I just clicking that Netflix movies can compete?
Because up until a few years ago, they weren't allowed to.
Yeah, well, yes,
That was another political thing.
Yeah.
That because the big movie studios up until a few years ago were able to push their clout to make it so that these companies like Netflix and Hulu and whatnot weren't allowed to compete when they were clearly making content that was doing as well or better than these movies that were being pushed out into the box office.
Right. You when you have that whole cog, the whole wheel in motion of what is best for everybody's pocketbook, and it's going to come down to what people are going to see.
Yeah.
And if the most viewed films are the ones on Netflix, then your agent is going to make sure that you're in a Netflix movie.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So up until like, I want to say 3 years ago, it's no more than like 5 years ago, I want to say, Netflix movies were not considered to be a
competitor,
viable competitor for the Oscars or anything like that.
Right.
But like somewhere along those lines, they finally said, you can't keep putting these movies down. They're doing better. They're like, yes, they're not a traditional format. They're not being pushed out into the box office immediately, but clearly they are doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
And people are watching these more than going out into the theaters and watching your stuff. So we cannot leave them out of the loop on this anymore.
Because I remember everyone had to figure out the way to get their film shown for 2 weeks in a theater that qualified.
Yep.
In order to be considered for the nomination. And that if you were a movie that was going to be considered for a nomination, you would know what theater you could show it at for 2 weeks. But most importantly, you'd been going through the film festivals enough for people to be talking about you before then and get the nomination and then possibly win.
Yeah.
Hence all the movies that suddenly pop up and we'd never heard of them before. Well, because we don't go to film festivals like other people do. We're not in Los Angeles where they're showing these ones. So that they must have changed the qualifier, unless people are taking a movie that is on Netflix and they're also putting it in theaters for a couple of weeks just to qualify.
I'm gonna look it up to see when they actually.
Yes, Green Book exists, and that is the fastest turnaround of regret I have ever seen in the film industry. Holy crap.
Oh, okay. Actually, streaming films are temporarily eligible for Oscars as of last year.
Okay, so this is a 2020
So
thing.
this is a much more recent thing. And it says temporarily, but my suspicion is they're not going to do it temporarily because Netflix is here to stay.
Yes, and I'm not seeing a lot. there were ones that streaming, but they had originally been intended for theater release.
Yeah.
And then they went to the Judas and the Black Messiah, Nomadland, Trial of the Chicago 7, which just hit Netflix. Promising Young Woman.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, not every movie on every streaming platform is suddenly going to be eligible for nominated for Best Picture. The Board of Governors has decided that a movie which winds up on a streaming service must have a previously planned theatrical release. So there's still restrictions on the streaming ones that were allowed to qualify for the Oscars.
Okay.
And it was all because of COVID-19. They still want people to go to the movie theaters.
Yes, everything's all yes. So I this is where I'm picking apart who got nominated. So for Best Actress, Viola Davis. For Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, that's the same movie Chadwick Boseman is nominated for. So that movie is not up for an Oscar, but the actors are.
Yeah.
Okay. So and Andra Day, her debut. This is her nomination for her debut movie with the United States versus Billie Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And then Frances McDormand. How many times has she been nominated? And she's won before, hasn't she?
No idea.
Didn't she win for Fargo?
Probably.
I think so.
Let me see. Let me pull up her IMDb.
Because I'm trying to think of, everyone has been nominated, never, and you know who's not nominated this year because she was too busy doing stupid Justice League. Like the first time she hasn't been nominated, I think in like 6 years or something, was she plays Lois Lane.
She is the recipient of numerous accolades, including 2 Academy Awards, 3 BAFTAs, 2 Emmys, and a Tony. And so she's one of the few performers to achieve the Triple Crown.
So I might give Best Actress to Carey Mulligan this year for that reason. Amy Adams, who is now hitting like the number of nominations without wins. She's about to win the record for that. Anyway, it's gonna be interesting.
Yes,
I would recommend the, at least for the most I can see, original screenplay nominees in the Best Picture nominees. Except I mean, again, Mank. That feels like just a movie that they couldn't not nominate. I guess because it's black and white and it has all the actors in it and it's about. And I'm like, okay.
It's all about the aesthetics sometimes.
Yes.
That's why period pieces are so popular at the Oscars.
Period pieces, World War II movies. I mean, almost
World War II movies are a period piece, technically.
Yes, they are. Yes, but they will win over a Victorian.
It's true.
Like a World War II movie. Unless you're up against Shakespeare in Love. Then you will be the first ever World War II movie to not win the Best Picture Oscar. Saving Private Ryan.
Yep.
Sorry. Okay. I'm curious. I'm gonna be keeping tabs on what happens. But other than that, I would recommend off of the ones that I've seen. I'm excited. I like some of these nominations.
I'm not usually an Oscars person. I know they happen. Should I care? Probably.
I'm all for it. Just because I did see some performances that I really enjoyed this year.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the last time we had 2 female director nominees.
It's not often. If it's happened at all before.
Right. So I'm always happy about that. But yeah, there we go. So what else? Did you get a chance to see the finale. I don't know who out there got a chance to see the finale.
No, I've not sat and watched it yet. However, I have seen some spoiler things going through TikTok, and my favorite so far was actually something in regards to Falcon's Captain America suit.
Okay.
So they're in the Air Force, which is the branch of the military that Sam is in. Mm-hmm. There is a formation that is supposed to honor fallen soldiers.
Okay.
So like it goes in the normal formation, and then one of them drops out, and it's supposed to honor the fallen soldiers. Well, the design on Sam's suit is practically identical to Steve's, except it has one of the lines missing. And the theory is that every time that Sam flies in using his Falcon version of the Captain America suit, he is doing this formation honoring the fallen soldier Steve.
Okay.
Because instead of 3 lines, it's got 2.
All right. I like this.
And I mean, that was something, like we all expected. Like, the entire point of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was to show Sam going through this journey of self discovery, being that, yes, I am actually worthy of being Captain America.
Yes.
And it was setting up for the next Captain America with Sam as Captain America.
Yes. Yes. I mean, very much like WandaVision, the whole point is to appropriately create and introduce the character of Scarlet Witch, appropriately create and introduce the next phase, especially with the announcement right after of the number 4 movie coming out.
Yep.
Yes. Again, introduced to Young Avengers. And everyone going, oh, is that Kurt Russell's son? Yes, that's Kurt Russell's son.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I could just imagine Alex Oscar acceptance speech. You tolerate me. You really, really tolerate me.
This is the part where I have to spoil it and say that's not what she said. But that's okay. Yes, that's exactly what we're going to write for him. He's not allowed to write his own speech. For the love of God, he's never allowed to write his own speech ever.
No, he's not. Crysstal and I are going to strong arm him, and we're like, you do not deviate from the speech. We have a spray bottle off stage.
Watching
and
you
even start.
Yeah, don't sprayed. Watching you
sprayed
with the water bottle. Don't do it. But I do want to give a shout out to the actor Randy Davidson, who played Toyman in my short for Supergirl, is in Mank. So shout out to him.
Nice.
It's his first. I do believe it is his first Oscar-nominated film. So, which was inevitable. He's amazing. That was always going to happen. So, there we go. More announcements like that to come along. So yeah, let's see. So, yeah, I have some catching up to do with a lot of stuff. What's next? Loki.
Yep.
Right?
Loki's next. I'm really looking forward to that one when it comes out.
Everyone's gonna be. Oh yeah, that's gonna be the meme generator to end all meme generators. Yeah.
You're not wrong.
I am not.
I can't wait for it.
I'm not. From now on, DB Cooper will be Loki.
Like my TikTok for you page right now is one of the things that they're doing. It's like, you don't see color until you see your soulmate kind of thing. And I keep getting ones for Loki, and I'm like, I think my For You page is trying to tell me something.
Something like that. So let's see. Loki. God, and part of it too, I keep so for all of you to know, like Jamie Alexander is one of Alex's biggest crush. That's his biggest crush. That's like his, yeah, he can't control himself when Jamie Alexander's on screen at all. To which my answer is, why the hell are you dating me? I don't have anything in common with that woman, but that's okay. That's okay. He doesn't have anything in common with a young Brad Pitt either. So there you go. But it's all fair. It's all fair.
Because it's not always about that.
It's not. It's not. So yeah, so he's excited for that. I'm just excited for the one-liners, the meme generation. Like yes. I'm excited. I do think Lady Loki,
Yes.
all in for that.
I love how they're setting up all the new Avengers, Junior Avengers.
Yep. Yeah.
Because we've already had was it Speed and Wiccan?
Yep.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier introduced. Oh shoot! What's
it's the grandson?
Yeah, the grandson.
What's his last name?
Eli,
the grandson,
Eli.
And then new Falcon,
which is he becomes Patriot.
Yes.
In the Young Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
So they're slowly but surely with these Phase 4 miniseries introducing beginnings to the Young Avengers.
Yes.
And I'm here for it.
It's just kind of mind-blowing because I think we just all, like I said it before, we'd all just gotten used to the idea of the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And when a trilogy is well done, which is very rare, by the way, we'd just gotten used to that. Like first we got used to sequels, then we got used to trilogies and tentpole franchises. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. And then we got used to Star Wars, whatever the fuck that was. And then now they're like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna keep going, like, and keep going and keep going, and we're gonna do this over here, and we're just gonna build an entire universe that's gonna go on for 3,700 movies. Y'all cool with that, right? And we're like, yeah. You don't suck at it.
I mean, if you do it right, we're willing to watch it.
Yes, but
which is the thing. Like, especially with something that's a comic book based, like you have to, you obviously have to draw new viewers in, but you have to make sure that the viewers that started watching and becoming interested in the comics because of the movies are being honored, as well as honoring the people who were fans well before the movies were even a thing. And it's a very fine tightrope that you're having to play in order to keep things right. But Marvel in particular seems to be doing a very good job with it.
Very. And
we don't want to talk about DC here.
How can you mess this up? How could you mess this up? I don't understand. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. Y'all had a running start. You had a running head start over Marvel. You had the most recognizable. I mean, think about it. Think about the most recognizable.
Yeah.
Internationally, most recognizable comic book characters. Batman. Superman. Top three people that are recognized globally are Jesus Christ, Santa Claus, and Superman. I'm not saying anything about humanity. I'm simply stating a fact. There it is. How do you mess that up? How do you? Because you had a running head start. You had a movie that changed how people thought about superheroes. Yeah. Granted, I get it. We don't have Christopher Reeve anymore, but still, I don't know how you mess this up. But again, explain to me how you mess up Star Wars too.
It's always, I've noticed, it's when you put the wrong person in the captain's chair to lead it.
Or you have 14 people who all want to be in the captain's chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I find the films, so certainly Richard Donner's Superman and then Thor Ragnarok as two fantastic examples of how to look at how to construct the storytelling at this level.
Yeah.
Like those are the two that there's the extreme multiple character, big world explosions, crazy example. And then there's Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Two ends of the spectrum, and yet they both got it right.
I mean, like, DC, like you said, they had a running start. They had Superman for decades before Marvel, and it was successful. Not to mention all of the freaking television series spin-offs of everything that they'd had prior. Because, like, Smallville was extremely popular for so freaking long.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, they screwed the pooch. They jumped the shark, folks. How do you jump the shark that bad?
And I mean, not even King Shark.
Yeah,
like,
it's not
a random one.
King Shark. No, they just jumped Jaws, and Jaws ate them.
There should be a scene in the new Suicide Squad where every team member has to jump over King Shark at one point, like just for some reason. Just
that
to put
would
that
be
in there.
great.
Just to put that in there, like it's got to happen at least once. Yeah, but it again, it kind of blows my mind. It feels like it was on a silver platter, and there's no excuse. And again, I'll say 50% of my argument isn't even that I know the comic books or that I'm a comic book fan.
Oh yeah.
50% of my argument is they're just bad movies.
Yeah. No, it's not that like we're like super in depth about the comic books. It's like no, it's you don't know how to make a movie. That's not how you make a movie.
Oh, what? How? What is going on?
This makes no sense.
It makes no sense. That's okay. That's
whether
good
you know the comics or not. You give no. I'm sorry. Superman and Batman both being like Martha and instantly becoming best friends. That's not how that works.
You kind of no. That's not the moment. That's not the moment, and it's never actually happened. I can't. And I'm sure there had to be a moment somewhere where they kind of looked at each other and said, "Your mom's Martha, my mom's Martha. What up?" But I'm like, no, that's not the point. The point isn't some epic battle and where we created the Martha is the safe word meme. Like, I don't know how. Which is the best thing to come out of that movie? That's the best thing to come out of that movie. Martha is the safe word. The safe word is Martha. Go, and that's just how they go from there. But it's supposed to be this moment because Martha is a parent that Clark still has alive.
Yeah.
In the shows, and what you're supposed to do is have a moment where Bruce goes to the farm. Like, it's that same moment that we had where they brought the Avengers to I can't think of names today. More margaritas for Crysstal. So they brought the Avengers to the farm. They brought the Avengers
to Clint's farm.
Yeah. Yes. And everyone it's a wonderful moment. Like, look, a real world. And so having this moment where Clark's like, we're going to the farm, or like, for whatever reason, Bruce needs downtime. We're going to the farm. I got dinner with my mom. And Bruce is just like, what? Yeah, we're going.
Well, like,
and then
another
Clark
thing is,
and then
Bruce is such a petty person that literally at one point in time, he bought the entire building that Clark's apartment is in. He bought the Daily Planet.
Mm-hmm.
He asked Lois Lane out on a date.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, oh, he's a farm boy. Let's buy a farm too while I'm at it.
Bought the farm. And then I think he beat up Lex Luthor just for fun. Like, just to show that he could at one point. And then, but yeah, I mean, I could just, what I just pictured was this moment where they're on the farm and Clark turns to Bruce and said, Bruce, this is my mother, Martha. And Bruce goes, okay, so yeah, he's an alien from another planet, but his mother's name is Martha.
Yeah.
And just sucks the wind out of Bruce's sails. Like, okay. So it's supposed to be a humbling moment.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he might technically be an alien, but what makes him who he is the fact that this woman and her husband raised him into who he is.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point. It wasn't a mistake. by Superman's creators, that the two sons of immigrants, that Superman was raised by simple farmers in middle America.
Yeah.
That wasn't an accident. That's an important part of who he is.
Exactly.
And the humbling moment isn't him screaming, "Why are you saying that name?"
Yeah.
to Cal's face. That's not a humbling moment.
Don't
Everything
forget
about
they
Clark
dropped the
is
ball with
humble.
Wonder Woman as well. Yeah, they had again, another example of they had a running start.
Yeah.
But also it's a sequel, and
That'd be cool.
traditionally the second one tends to do worse than the first one.
This is why we just got used to the idea of trilogies possibly working and tentpole franchises, and now phase 4, what phase 2,
Yes.
phase 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
Yep.
phases, and each phase has like 18 movies in it. I'm like,
And now series as well.
And series. Part of it is allowing directors, like one thing we're learning with ours is really allowing the creative process to include the sequels and the next part, because everything seems to be kind of like catch up.
Sorry, my cat is trying to climb my tapestry.
Not for climbing.
Yeah, it's being held in by freaking push pins, cat. That is not something you can climb.
I'm familiar with a lot of the protocol. I mean, just especially from hearing it, I understand the protocol. I'm so familiar, like, oh, I'm so deep inside. No. Okay. So I understand the protocol where you have a meeting with somebody and they either say, hey, we should really work on a movie about this character, or I hear you're working on this movie. Let me pitch you why I should be the director. And they have to walk into that room, sweat pouring down their face, and explain why they're the best person for the job, right?
Yeah.
For this, they have to please everybody in the room, and they have to please everybody who's thought about this. That's what they have to do to get that first one. Okay, cool. You get to the second one, and everyone kind of gets greedy.
Yes.
And lazy, but enthusiastic. It's like lazy enthusiastic. It's like enthusiastic, but not really like lazy. That's it. Anyway. And then you get to the third one and we're just all done. I mean, even Iron Man 3. Ugh.
Don't get me started on Iron Man 3.
Ugh.
Honestly, I liked the second one the best.
Second one had a lot of good. That was thought out. Like, you could tell that was thought out.
Yeah. Third one was just, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah, I've never watched the third one a second time. I've never watched that one a second time.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I've not actually sat down and decided to watch the entire thing. It's just that.
Yeah, that's okay. You're good.
I'm sorry. I walked in with the glowing superhuman-esque kind of people and Pepper taking on that, and I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, like, no, I'm not anything enough for this movie.
Exactly.
Whatever it is I'm supposed to be to sit through this movie, I'm not it. So
it's like I get they're trying to give Pepper like some autonomy here and woohoo, go female empowerment for a second. But it wasn't, it was kind of just inserted in there. It didn't come naturally.
Right.
Is the thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Like I felt like Pepper being given the super suit, the Iron Man style suit at the end of Endgame came more naturally, mainly because of the fact that, like, you know, they introduced, it's like, hey, you know, Morgan found mom's mask first. It's like dad's been working on a secret for her just in case.
Right. Your mom doesn't like anything I buy her. Yeah. All of that. And you're also talking about a decade worth of development, more than that, worth of development at that point. So they knew how to, yes. Well, the takeaway is we're ready for Loki. We're ready. Okay, on to the next one.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I do have to get ready for work.
Well, thank you guys for popping in and listening to us talk about the Oscars and then how not to do a franchise.
Which we're never going to stop talking about. That's
No, that will
never going to stop talking about that.
constantly be something that we bring up.
Yeah. Yes.
Because that is a thorn in our side at all points in time.
Head scratcher. It's personally responsible for at least half of the alcohol I've consumed in my life. But yes.
I didn't watch Aquaman while totally drunk on fish bowls because of
Still an entertaining movie. Actually quite easy to sit through compared to a lot of others. So
all
that's
right, folks. Have a good night. Crysstal, have a good day at work.
Girls, thank you, Lyssa. Thank you so much for joining me today on this. Don't forget, like, subscribe, notification bell. We're coming back at you next week. And thank you again, all of you, for popping in. Thank you for all the wonderful comments. We hope you have a great rest of your week.
Bye.